Hello, baby doll friends. We're going to go through the truth today about the US dollar. We are still early to crypto, and I like it. How do I know we're early to crypto? No one understands what's going on. This is fantastic. When no one understands what's going on, the government can push the media out to keep you understanding their narrative and not learning the truth. But in crypto and markets, not so easy because we don't have access to the money printer and all the power. So we have to always evaluate, do people know what's going on? If they do, there is no edge, and it's probably time to seek other investments and to do better when it comes to where we want to allocate our capital. So the US dollar, right? What happened in 2022 was the US dollar went on a monster run. Yeah. The monster run right here. Let's look at it. You see this US dollar? This US dollar went on an absolutely ginormous run. No. And just killed us all, right? And because this is what happens with humans, right? Because humans during this time, we're human, right? We saw DXY go up and we saw our crypto, Bitcoin do the double top and Bitcoin went down. What do we say in our minds? We say, aha, inverse correlated. So when DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. That's the story we latch onto. And I know from all the data and from all the markets, the correlations are not what you think they are, okay? Price moves first, and then the narrative occurs, okay? So the red candle appears first, then we say, why is it going down? What's happening? Oh, here's the story, and whatever we latch onto the easiest is the one that sticks, or the ones that the powers to be want us to really believe. So what people don't understand is, what if I was to tell you that everybody had it wrong? And see, everyone in Bitcoin, they understand this, right? But new people coming in, the new people joining, they don't really understand, which is good. Double thumbs up to that. It means we're early. So the truth about the US dollar is, as the US dollar goes up, it increases the probability that Bitcoin wins. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, so as US dollar goes up, DXY up, right? The chances of Bitcoin surviving and winning increase. This is the truth. Why? Debt obligations. So I'm not here to tell you, oh, next time you see the DXY going up, you should do like a short-term or mid-term trade. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm just here to tell you that we have the world government by the balls now. Crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin, it's a protocol. It's a language. The invention is a language. It's like you don't know how to speak, and then I introduce English to you, and I teach you how to speak. How's the government going to ban language? Think about it. Think how hard that is to do. You can't do that. It's like, how's the government going to ban you using the wheel at home? How's the government going to ban you from using circles, to make a tire for a car? Or circles for anything else, any type of leverage or pulley system. Do you understand? That's what the invention of blockchain was. That's why Satoshi is literally a miracle giver to the world. So as DXY goes up, traditionally, we say, hey, this is what the normal path is. So DXY up, right? DXY up means risk assets down, right? So stocks down, crypto down, all right? And they say, so that's the prevailing attitude, right? And why is this? Well, and they say it's because as DXY goes up, right, debt obligations in US dollars get harder to pay. And so everyone has to sell the risky stuff to pay it off and get squeezed in their economy. So that's why. So, if you owed me $1 million US, and let's take it to the extreme. If the US dollar became so strong that, your currency, you used to have 1 million units of your currency to get a US dollar. But now my US dollar is so strong, you need 10 million units, you're screwed, right? You're like, oh my God, I only used to need, like 1 million pounds, but now I need 10 million because the US dollar went so strong. So that's what happens if you take this to the extreme. That's what actually happens at the end of the fiat systems. All right, because power eventually consolidates in the world. And the governments are always trying to do the Keynesian system of trying to reset stuff, and they're trying to release the pressure by devaluing certain currencies to let the economies boom around the world, right? So we can just go and have a look at the DXY. We're on this monster run. Now I could see this arrow? I still have this marked on my chart. This exact date, Friday, 21st October, right here. Go back to my Twitter. You can find my audio tweet. I was breathing a sigh of relief. I'm like, oh my God, the tightening's done. It's actually done. Oh, thank God. How was I so early, man? How was I so early? Basically, crypto had bottom. Now, of course, Bitcoin went and made a lower low, but Ethereum and all the other alts didn't. Okay, most of them didn't. How was I able to see this? Well, because I'm here 16 hours a day, and sometimes I think like I'm an evil dictator, and how would I take over the world? I was noticing in the media counter information, counter vibes from Britain, Japan, and all the allies of America. They were pissed off, man. They were really angry that this DXY was not pulling back. It's funny. We're just degen. We want our bags to like go back. Like, please bags, go up. I'm poor again in crypto. But up here, man, you have countries being squeezed. And then you had, I don't know if you remember, there was the pension crisis with Great Britain. So basically, England, Great Britain, the pensions were leveraged because they bought the bonds, and now the bonds were getting destroyed. The British gilts, right? And they're like, oh my God, it's literally like if you had my pension money and then you put like a 5x Bitcoin long. Yeah, it is. And then Bitcoin drops down and you're like, oh no, I've lost Sommy's money. What do you do then? It's literally exactly what they did, right? It's funny because we're degens, but yes, it's what they do. But they do it with government bonds because they can control everything. So I was noticing, I was like, man, this doesn't sound like a world takeover to me. This sounds like something went too far, So how I interpret it, you might use the word conspiracy, but if you put together all the facts, there's no conspiracy, right? It's just a CIA-made term. So clearly, they wanted to crush crypto, right? They wanted to crush crypto and other stuff. They wanted to crush China. They wanted to crush Russia. They wanted to crush crypto. They just want to wipe the haters out. So when they do this, I want you to understand how the players behind the scenes work. They don't play nice, okay? What they do is they keep pushing it up and pushing it up until everyone screams for pain and help, okay? So basically what they do is this is what they do. This is how they look at it. They go, okay, well, whatever this price is for the US dollar, DXY 92, 91, 93, it's too low. And they might guess. They go, okay, where should it be? And they don't try to predict exactly where it should be, right? Because look, I'm just going to spoil it for you right now. It ends up at 103, yeah? We end up back at 103, but they don't know where it is, but they want to cause pain. So what they do is they shoot it up and shoot it up and shoot it up, and they keep doing it and doing it until everyone screams. And if you noticed around here, we were all screaming for pain. Everybody was screaming for mercy, right? September, October, everyone was like, that's it, we're done. Now, traditionally, friends, many decades ago, you had nowhere to run. You had to go to the US dollar. You had to go to US government. You had to beg and plead. Hey, okay, we'll help us out. We'll do a trade deal here and there. Okay, they bend over to the US dollar. But now, it's a different game. Now, China and Russia are trying to flex. I don't think they're going to win, but they're trying to flex no matter what. Okay, so US has to just be number one at all costs. Okay, you've always got to take out number two. So, but now we introduce crypto. Okay, so, crypto is going to be very powerful, right? They might not all believe it now, but we understand the games are changing. We don't know who's going to ultimately win, but we understand that the game's changing. That's all you got to know. All you have to know is if USA had 90% dominance and everyone's 10%, well, maybe in the future it's going to be like 70% US, 30% everyone else. You see that big shift, right? So I was able to tell here, I was like, man, as the US guys were pushing it up and up and up, man, they were squeezing me. I was like, oh my God, I regret everything. I hate life, depressed. We all know this feeling, right? And at this point, the governments, the Japanese, the Brits, everyone was coming out saying, man, these US, they are a bunch of, ding-dongs. They're ding-dongs, and I'm not apologizing about it. And I was like, I was thinking that's psyops in my mind. I was thinking, that is not language you're meant to say. You're meant to say, oh, well, that's it. We respect the USA. They were not saying that. They were not saying that. They were saying, what the hell are these idiots doing? Some of them were calling for rate cuts from the Fed. You get what I mean? That's their way of saying, oh, you guys, you better know what you're doing, right? So what ends up happening is one of the biggest collapses in the Dixie ever. Friends, isn't this funny? We had 0 rate cuts and the Dixie dropped. This is gargantuan in size, by the way. Go back in the history. You won't find charts this size. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Bang. With no rate cuts. I know there's drawings here. Look at this. With no rate cuts, we did this move, friends. None. It's all manipulated, man. Like here, they had to start cutting rates. Big time. Recession, okay? So just letting you know, this move that happened, right, is huge. Huge. And they don't talk about it. Right? So, let's have a quick look. DXY, what most people believe is, because the DXY goes up, they think that Bitcoin has to go down. But because all the allies have debt in US dollars, what ends up happening is you kill other countries. So as DXY goes up, right? Up, it kills its allies, right? It kills Japan. It kills Great Britain, right? It kills Australia. It kills everyone. Kills Europe. Just absolutely obliterates them. Yeah? So take it to the extreme, right? Everyone has US debt. If you make the DXY 1000 and say the euro is 5 cents, well, how is any European country going to pay any of the US debt? They can't. Effectively, US walks over and says, hey, you owe us all this money. We now own you. Okay? But I took this to an extreme. Okay? I took it the DXY to 1000. Now, see, they were trying to take it up, right? They're not taking it up to 1,000, obviously absurd levels, but you can see everyone starts squealing. So, what happens as the DXY goes up is you can see how everyone started squealing here? Well, in the future, maybe this dollar milkshake theory starts actually playing up. Maybe in the future, maybe not this early, but at some point, right? Maybe we go sideways for a long time, and then sometime in 2026, 7, 8, 9, maybe DXY is up at 130, right? Maybe that dollar milkshake theory starts to play out over this decade. And what ends up happening is you start to kill Great Britain, Japan, all the companies in there. They have US debt. They can't pay it off. The US starts to own everything. Like I said before, there's a problem now. Everyone has alternatives. So what do? Well, look at this example, man. I have an example. The US dollar is an alcohol store. Okay? It's an alcohol store. Look at the US dollar here. A little skull. Also, there's a Japanese alcohol store. There's a Japanese bar. And you have the British one. Okay? There are obviously other fiat around the world. And here you are, as Bitcoin, you are here, right? This is Bitcoin. And you know what? If you want, you can even throw Ethereum, even though they kind of choose Ethereum, right? But we'll put Ethereum there too. So here you are in your cute little lemonade stand. And surprise, surprise, you are also selling nice, comfy, fluffy socks. You are comfortable for everyone. So this is what happens, right? The US dollar serves alcohol to everybody. What would happen if the other pubs open up next to them and let's say the Japanese pub starts serving alcohol, which is poisonous, right? It literally starts serving alcohol that's poisonous and starts killing itself off, right? It literally shrinks. What about the pound? What if they get poisoned too? What if their alcohol store has to go away, Now, look what happens. Now when people get to choose, they don't have to choose between 10, 15 fiats. It's literally our crypto or the US dollar. So as the US dollar strengthens, okay, because the US dollar, it's serving bad alcohol to all these guys, right? these other stores, what happens is our dominance grows bigger. And that's why we're probably going to see total crypto market cap, man. It's going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 trillion. It's going to keep growing. So our competitiveness increases as the DXY goes up. So, what's the prevailing thought? The prevailing thought is as the DXY goes up because of history and they say, oh, well, risk on asset, right? The Bitcoin has to go down. And because everyone thinks that, maybe that's a good sign that we're really early. And that's exactly what we want. Because we don't want everyone in the industry to know this secret, It's not even really a secret. They'll just see the red candles and they'll sell anyway, right? You can explain to someone, but it doesn't matter. So this is how we have edge, man. Here you are with your cute little lemonade stand and you have your cute fluffy socks and everybody's getting poisoned by the US dollar because their debts have to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The debts never shrink, by the way. They only get bigger. It's literally a self-fulfilling prophecy and a flywheel right now. There's not all these first world countries, Australia, US, Britain, Japan, we have too many old people. The boomers are getting old. They didn't have enough people. They didn't have enough kids to replace them. Okay? Boomers did not have enough kids to replace the system, so it's an inverse pyramid now. Instead of 8 people working for 1 or 2 retirees, it's the opposite. It's now 1 or 2 people working for 8 retirees. It's literally inverted, friends, in like the past 80 to 100 years. So as everyone's debt continues to get big in the next 10, 20 years, and the US dollar, its dominance grows, everybody's going to get squeezed. And here we are, the shining light, right? So that's why we hope that we are early enough. Because I'm already telling you now, if I can see this, when the governments start to really be like, you know what, crypto, you're getting a bit too big, they're going to start coming in to crush us, man. They're going to try to crush us. Now, I hope they don't win, but you don't know what's going to happen, man. They might kill little Timmy's lemonade stand. They're going to do something. BlackRock's already in here. They're already taken down BUSD. The US Fed already has the SEC taking down stable coins, probably to make USDC the Fed coin and US, you know what's coming. You don't need to know the exact moving parts, but you understand the trend. And the trend is that they want to keep US dollar dominance at all costs. But we know you can't, man. Look, my final message will be the free market will always win. Right? The US dollar, yes, it's the strongest in the world, but it's not everybody. All right? It's not everyone. It's not every person. It's not every power structure. It's not every currency. Competitive solutions are out there. Crypto, blockchain, we're here, okay? And if someone like me, crocodile wrestler, dusty room, if I can figure this out and say, oh my God, I want to own something that's, not inflationary and that actually goes up over time. If me and you are figuring that out, what's going to happen when the next 100 million people figure it out? 1 billion people figure it out, Now, it might not happen at once, but, this is where it comes back to all the way to Satoshi. Satoshi put the Bitcoin halvening in for Bitcoin to have its price keep shooting up. Because every time that there was a wave, every time the Bitcoin halvening spikes it up, every single time, it catches people's attention, and the price going up fueled the adoption. So now we all think, oh my God, this is a currency. We understand how everything's working, okay? And everything's starting to get fleshed out. So he knew what he was doing, more than anyone can ever imagine, right? So we go back and we look at everything, right? You look at everything. So remove your lemonade stand and all these. We understand all the metaphors and everything, right? So in the future, be careful about selling your crypto because, you think the DXY is going to go up, etc. Because now we've just gone through here, man, As the DXY goes up, because of the debt, it will kill Japan. It will kill Great Britain. It will kill Australia. It will kill Europe. All of America's allies will get squeezed over time, okay? And don't expect to pick the exact inflection point, the big catalyst that starts it all. This is a trend. If you are holding crypto, if you're holding crypto, right, you are long, right? Long, let's say BTC, you're long ETH, right? If you're just holding any of our coins, right, you are automatically short the pound, short the yen, right? You are short US dollar against yourself, right? You are short all of them just by holding them because they keep printing more of these. The supply of these goes up and the supply of these goes up tiny amounts or goes down. Okay? So I hope this is really clear. If you need any help, friends, leave comments below, like, subscribe, bell button, or until next time.